All right, we are
Hi.
on.
Yay. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the 2-minute delay. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, it's been just 2 minutes. I think it's fine.
So,
And
um,
we're
well,
still.
you go for it.
Oh, here we go. There's someone
Yay, people.
already here. Welcome to our 4 o'clock webinar. Thank you for tuning in.
Nice. Yes.
Hello. So, um, right. So if you're here, please say hi, write hi in the comment section. Tell us your name, where you're from, and where you are at the moment. So I hope you are all doing very well. So introduce yourself. So before we begin, maybe we can start introducing ourselves. My name is
Yeah.
Anika, and I'm from Bangladesh originally, and I've been living in Italy for almost 6 years now. And I used to live in Malaysia before I came to Italy. So I have with me Jadene today, who's also
Yes.
here at Milan. So take it away, Jadene.
Thank you. So 6 years is such a long time. Amazing. So yeah, I'm Jade. Only been living in Italy for 6 months, which my parents would say is a long time. But again, compared to you, it's not true.
Mhm.
And I am from London in England. So everyone who's watching, please introduce yourselves. We have Lisa from Parma, Sina, born in Iran and grown up in Italy, Bologna. And grown up is, oh no, she says grown in. So I don't know if this was, or he, I'm not sure if Sina is a male or female name. I'm sorry. I've never heard it before, but it's very nice. But grown
I think it's
in
a
is
middle name.
really
I don't think that's a
funny.
middle name.
We would usually say grown up in, but grown in is like a really fun and casual way to talk about where you're from because it's kind of like a joke. We say we've been grown in a place, but it's nice. I like it. Um, and are you guys, where are you now? Are you in Parma at the moment, Lisa? It's a male name. Okay, thank you for letting me know.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you for joining us. Great. Kate here says, hello, everybody. I'm Kate from Naples. Fantastic. So just to check with Jada,
Hi.
can you hear me properly? Because I had problems earlier with another webinar.
I can hear you fine. I every so often can hear a noise in the background. I'm not sure if it's my echo or just the microphone thing, but
Mhm.
it's not distracting, so don't
Okay.
worry.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. We also have Stefania, Anna from Palermo, and Mary from Rome. Okay, so hi everyone, and it's really great you've already started interacting with us because we love it when people are interactive. It makes the webinar so much more fun, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's begin with the topic of today. The topic is Armageddon. An interesting topic here. So
Possibly not the most fun topic, but we'll see.
yeah, maybe we could talk about movies as well to make it more cheerful.
Maybe I've never seen Armageddon.
Mhm.
But yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know what Armageddon means, although I'm sure you all do, um,
Mhm.
Armageddon is the last battle between good and evil, right and wrong, before Judgment Day. And I think I'm not sure if Armageddon is a religious word. I think it's from Christianity, but in all kind of mythical religions as well, there always seems to be some kind of reference to a type of Armageddon. For example, I think in like Norse mythology, so myths from Scandinavian countries, they have Ragnarok, which I think is the same the same
Mhm.
kind of concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me know as well if you know any other kinds. It's something that interests me personally. I quite like religious stories and myths.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it's actually from Christianity, if I'm not wrong. Probably other religions also believe in the same war. Okay, so this is the plan for today. Mm, Focus activity, we are going to talk about future perfect, describing a disaster and predictions. So
Yeah,
this is
okay,
something we all interesting.
so Maria has said it's the apocalypse, right? So yeah, the apocalypse is just another kind of word for the end of the world. Whereas Armageddon, I think they're very similar,
Mhm.
but Armageddon is more of this giant battle. I don't know if apocalypse is also for a battle or if it's just the end. But Armageddon is
Mhm.
definitely this good versus evil kind of thing. Kate says, I've seen Armageddon many, many times. I hope you mean the movie and not some kind of drama in your personal life. And Anna is not the best topic in this moment. Maybe, but I like that you sent that with a smiley face. And probably we're more likely to say at the moment or in this period than in this moment. But it's not, it's not a huge issue. Okay.
Going to discuss. So if you want to participate, you can also write the number and write the answer to these questions. So the questions are, number one, what is the apocalypse? Number two, what events do you think could cause an apocalypse? I keep saying apocalypse. What do you think would happen to the world if most of the humans were gone? And what would you do if civilization was destroyed by a catastrophe? So, as we were discussing, the word apocalypse is, which refers to a huge disaster that can cause the end of humanity or the planet. So it can be
Basically,
some natural causes or artificial causes.
I have a question for you, Anika, and also everyone else can answer if you have your own definition. But how would you best define the word catastrophe? Because this is a really, I mean, the way it sounds, it's a very beautiful word, catastrophe. It doesn't really mean anything good, but
I
how
like
would
the
you
sound of it,
describe it?
catastrophe. So I would describe it as a disaster, like a terrible
Yeah,
disaster when there's a lot of destructions and harm
yeah,
done.
something quite big as well.
Yeah.
So catastrophe is a noun, but you can also use an adjective, which I like, which is something has been catastrophic. Um, and I've mentioned it a few times recently, but British people tend to be really dramatic, and we like to exaggerate. So we'd probably describe very small events as being catastrophic. So yeah, anyone else who would like to exaggerate, feel free to use this word. um, so Lisa says the apocalypse is the end of the world. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay,
does
so we
anyone
can talk about
have?
the second.
Yeah, exactly. And Anika as well. Do you have any thoughts? What do you think would cause the apocalypse?
Well, it could be lots of different, a lot of things come to mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is a natural disaster because of climate change, global warming, either freezing up or too much heat, a huge heat wave. Not a very pleasant thing to think about at this time. We've had our fair share of catastrophe recently, but yeah, for me, natural disaster comes to mind.
Okay. Hi, Greta. Welcome.
Hi, Greta.
Yeah,
What about you, Jadene? What do you think of?
I don't know what would cause an apocalypse. Possibly, maybe more human cause. Like a nuclear warfare. Yeah. So Kate has said that an apocalypse means a real dramatic event. And I agree. Although I think dramatic is only spelled with one M. Yeah. But I agree. So, and when we watch films and stuff, it's always like aliens. But I think probably it would just be due to really poor decisions made by political leaders. And like a big war. Sina says global warming could cause the apocalypse. So, like you, Anika. And Lisa says, for example, a collision between the Earth and another planet or asteroid. Nice. Yeah, it's true. So, and I don't know if apocalypse means the end of the world or the end of humankind, possibly just humankind. So then looking at the third question, what do you think would happen to the world if humans were extinct? So if we all disappeared. And Greta also says, if I think of an apocalypse, I always think of climatic causes. So yeah, also like you, Anika. Or problems due to asteroids or space matter.
Yeah. So there's a nice word that you have used, Jadene. I'm just going to write it down. Extinct is when a specific species disappears. Could be humans, animals, whatever. So that's what brings us to the third question. What do you think happened to the world?
Oh, wow.
That's an interesting one.
That's really lovely,
Nature would
Greta.
thrive.
Yeah, so thrive is a beautiful, beautiful word. Thrive just means to, like, be amazing. I don't really know how else to describe it. If something's thriving, it's just really achieving the most it possibly could.
Yeah, to be at his best.
Yeah. So do you think, Greta, that maybe another animal would become, we call what humans are the apex predator, because if you think of a food chain or like a hierarchy of power, etc., humans are at the top, and then beneath us you have the really great animals like lions, and I'm not really sure actually what comes beneath us, but yeah, so we are known as the apex predator. So do you think there would be a different animal that would take charge, or do you think nature would somehow equal out?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or does anyone have a
Sorry,
different
I just
opinion?
wrote the same thing.
Oh no, it's fine. Does anyone have a different opinion? Maybe nature wouldn't thrive, or that maybe something worse would happen to the world without humans here to maintain it? Probably no one thinks that, but
Ooh, Sina has an answer here. So he thinks animals will disappear before humans, because science will find a way to preserve humanity till the end.
Wow.
Well, we are quite a dominating species of animals. We're always dominating over everybody, so
yeah,
I can understand Sina. So Kate says, if it happens, so when you use the first conditional, you always use the present simple with if and never will with if. So if it happens, the world will be, very good, will be, a new place full of prosperity. Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with Kate a little bit, because we are here to like destroy the planet in so many ways. I think nature would thrive, as Greta said before. So Sina says animal and... Sorry,
I just want to make one point. Sorry. so just from Sina's last comment, just because I think this is something I notice people don't know. So in spoken language, it's perfectly acceptable to say till, to shorten until till. But till is actually really informal. So if you're ever writing something down, never write till, you always have to write until, always. This is just something that I have seen from other students.
Great. Okay, so Sina here asks the question, animal and self-vegetation, is it correct? Self-vegetation, I would say vegetation refers to plants and agriculture. I don't use self-vegetation. Have you ever used that?
No, can you maybe try to explain, Sina, a bit more what you mean? Because like Anika said, vegetation is just another word for crops and vegetables. So I'm not sure what self-vegetation would be.
Yeah. Okay, so in the meantime, let's look at Greta's comment. She says, scientists say it took thousands of years to reach our evolution. I don't think other animals could develop human intelligence. Well, you have a point there, Greta. Okay, so it may take many years, though.
But she says maybe some species could win in the dominion of the earth. You guys, for 8 to 10 group, you really got excellent vocabulary.
Very good. Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
Issa says, sorry. You can do it. You can do it.
Okay.
I think monkeys will be at the top, but some scientists say that only rats will be able to survive an apocalypse.
Ooh,
wow,
really?
That's terrifying. Rats and cockroaches as well.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I don't think I would want to be around if that was the case.
Me neither. I can imagine insects will be like in huge amounts later on, because there are so many of them right now.
Yeah, but as well, so many going extinct every day is crazy. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Okay. So this is about until. So again, Sina.
Oh, okay.
We understand you, but you're using many different tenses together. Okay, so we can make it more simple. We're talking about the past, so simple past. So we use the auxiliary verb did or did not because it's negative, and then the present tense verb no. And if we were talking positive in the past, we would just use past simple, the past tense of the verb knew. But when we talk in negative, because we have the auxiliary verbs did not, we keep the main verb in the present tense. Maria, about the third question, I think that the planet would return to live, or maybe we would say return to life. While this quarantine, we saw, it's true. So during this quarantine, or while this quarantine is happening, we saw the human effects towards nature. Is true, because we've seen how some pollution has reduced. We saw apparently there were dolphins swimming in Venice. So
yeah,
it's true. It's really true. And finally, Sina says, I mean trees and anything not grown by humans. So yeah, we can just call this, can we call it vegetation if we haven't grown it? I think yes.
I think so, but if it includes animals, I wouldn't use vegetation.
No, not animals, just trees and things that grow.
Okay. I believe so. Everyone
Yeah.
say yeah.
So it's all just vegetation. That's fine.
Okay. And then
Question 4. Dun, dun, dun.
what
What
would
do
you
you guys
do if
think?
civilization was destroyed by a catastrophe? So imagining there won't be many people around. We're one of the survivors.
Oh, I would not last long. This is this is something I know. I have zero survival skills, and I'm very what you call heavy-footed, which means
Yeah.
when I walk is very loud.
Oh.
So
Okay. So yeah,
if
you
I
wouldn't
had
be.
to hide, no, I would be gone. But if maybe it was just a group of great people, then we can make a new civilization. It would be beautiful. And everyone
Oh
would be
yeah.
nice to each other. It would be a utopia, which is a perfect place.
Cool.
What would you do, Anika?
So I think I would be looking for, first of all, I would try to find out if my friends and family are around and
Oh, that's true.
and try to help each other survive as much as possible. But I am not very strong either, so probably I wouldn't be doing very well. I would be panicking first of all before anything. But then I think eventually I will find a way out. Hopefully there will still be internet, so I would be Googling on how to do things.
how to leave apocalypse, please.
How to grow things, stuff like that.
That's true.
Because for sure food will be running out, so you'll have to learn how to grow your own food and survive,
Yeah.
know some survival skills and things. So what would you guys do?
Yeah. Let us know. And maybe while we wait. Okay, no. Ooh. In my opinion, Kate says, at the moment, we don't have a real form of civilization. so we would just say if it happens. So we don't need to use if it is happen. This isn't a grammar structure that we have anyway. So if it happens, simple. In the future, we could learn to be better than now. That's very nice. That's, yeah, very beautiful. Again, we can make the utopia. We can try.
Yeah.
Greta, I hope the question, don't forget, we always need a subject in English, okay? So even if you just want to say it, we need to know what you're talking about. So I hope it's not intended as the last survivor. If there are a few of us, we would rebuild. Maybe it would be a Middle Ages 2.0 and we would have a lot to do. Mankind is made to move forward, so we would adapt. Cool. Although I think the Middle Ages is the most boring time, so I hope for you it's not it's not like this.
Yeah.
And I like these because remember plural kinds of questions. Cool.
Nice, Greta. I like your answers.
I like them too.
Okay. So if you have more answers, you can keep them coming, keep writing. We get your answers a little bit later because of a delay. So don't stop writing. But in the meantime, move forward to our next slide. So we have some vocabulary related to the end of the world as we know it.
Which is also a song.
So
do you know this song?
I don't actually. Whose song is that?
I'm not sure. I want to say like Blink 182 or like a just kind of very famous teenage style band from America.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I like the title though. The end of the world as we know it. Well, so we have the vocabulary. I'm going to read. So we have wasteland. We have evacuate, ghost town, decay, survivor, infect, and overgrow. So if you guys know the, please type them up and send it to us.
Yes, it might be easier if you just do numbers and letters. I know there aren't any, but if you say that the word is from a number, so wasteland is number 1, evacuate is number 2, and then the description, a city, blah, 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 is A, okay?
Yeah.
So then we have on the right definitions,
good,
a
Lisa.
city that has been completely abandoned, to leave a dangerous place, land that is uninhabitable and devastated, when a disease enters someone's body, a person who lives through a disaster, to degrade or decompose, and to grow in an uncontrolled way. So really well done. Okay, so we have oh, they have a lot of comments. But yeah, so Greta, Lisa, Anna. A wasteland is land that is uninhabitable and devastated. Well done. And evacuate is excellent, as Greta has said, to leave a dangerous place. So if you evacuate an area, is to escape somewhere dangerous. And
so we have also
okay, yeah,
down.
so Maria Kate, wonderful.
Okay, well done, Greta. Again, goes down. Kate, 1, yes, goes down is the first one. A city that has been completely abandoned. Decay to degrade. Well done, Lisa. And Sina here says
They're coming so fast.
F. Ooh, okay. Survivor, a person who lives. Great job. I think you guys have got it. So decay is to decompose. So this usually refers
so well done,
to
Sina, as well.
Yeah. Okay. So we have survivor, a person who lives through a disaster. Most of you guys have. Okay, I'm gonna have to count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yes, great job. So infect would be number 4 when a disease enters somebody's body. So this is a very common word that we use right now, to infect, to get infected. Or also to contract is another word, to contract a disease. Okay.
No, that's
so
true.
Obviously to overgrow is to grow, and to overgrow is to grow in an uncontrolled way. So something overgrows, like if vegetation overgrows, then it's everywhere. Yeah. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about these words or definitions, you can post them to us. We'll try our best to answer. Now, these are really common words that we can use. For example, ghost town. Milan is a ghost town at the moment. There's nobody around. Most cities, I guess, these days. Most cities in Italy.
We have also around the world. In the UK as well, there are some parts now. Not enough as some of them, ghost towns.
Yeah. Okay. So looking ahead, we're going to fill in the blanks to practice these words that we talked about before. So we have the same vocabulary and we have to complete them here. So again, if you guys know the answers, you can just type them up. So let's say these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So the first sentence here is in 1986, the town of Pripyat, not sure how to pronounce this properly, was blank after an explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. So what do you guys think is the answer to 1? So Sina says Ghost Town is also a Madonna song. I don't think I've heard it. Have you heard it, Jadene?
No. No, that
Okay, so
is one by a band called The Specials.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure about the Madonna one.
Okay, a lot of answers are coming up. Well done, Kate, Greta, Lisa,
Greta.
Sina.
So in 1986, the town of Pripyat was evacuated after an explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was declared an exclusion zone. The city is now and I saw it before. Yes, so Greta has said or done, a city is now a ghost town. Is that right? The city is now.
Great.
Yes, okay. While the surrounding countryside has become unusable for farming. So this is a word we didn't discuss. So don't worry, anyone who hasn't got it. Greta has gotten it. Well done. Oh yes, and Lisa as well. So while the surrounding countryside has become a wasteland, unusable for farming. So Anika, what is a wasteland?
So empty land where you can't do anything, you can't, people can't live there or grow things there. It's just an empty land used for nothing. So in this case, it says after the nuclear explosion, the countryside has become a wasteland. So I can imagine nothing was growing there anymore. You can't even do farming there. So I would just like to mention that some verbs may be a little bit changed. So just like Anna did before, I saw she said evacuated. So in case it's a verb, be careful to change it a bit. Okay, so I can take the next sentence here. After sitting unused for nearly 30 years, the buildings are blank, and the forest has started to blank the city. Okay, so what do you think this is? So after unused nearly for 30 years. Yeah, I mean, literally, I mean, it doesn't make sense literally, but in a kind of a poetic way, I would say. You use this word mainly for maybe food or something that that has moisture in it, I guess.
It's true, but I think it can be used. You're right, in a poetic way. Just for example, if you leave a building alone without maintenance, it will start to crumble, and it will be, animals will start to live in it, and eventually it will kind of decay, so sort of stop existing.
Yeah, crumble is a nice word, to fall apart. If something breaks down and falls apart, it crumbles.
Like a cookie.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, it takes me a little bit of time to write the comments, but it's coming. Yeah, to fall apart. Yeah, so well done. Overgrown as well, decayed and overgrown. So overgrow the city. Okay, so there are more forests than buildings. Okay, so some people, so Lisa says the next one will be survivors.
And Anna as well, good. So some of the survivors were, and then of course the last word we have is infected by the radiation and became sick or died. Experts predict that in approximately 200 years, the radiation will have subsided to habitable levels. Wow, such a long time.
Yeah, 200 years. Goodness. That's a huge damage.
Yeah, horrible.
Okay. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Another word that could be unfamiliar to you is subside. To have subsided, if something subsides, reduces, or it disappears slowly. So if it's been raining for days, it subsides. That means it so slowly stops raining. Okay, good job, guys.
Well done. Excellent.
So
Okay.
we're Grammargeddon.
I like that a lot.
Bit of grammar. Yeah. Okay. So here is
So
an
it's
example of
the
another
same thing, I
catastrophe
think.
or
No, it's the
Oh
same.
yes,
It's
it
the
is.
same.
It is.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to read it all again. So the final
Yeah.
sentence says, experts predict
Hmm.
that by approximately 2216, the radiation will have subsided to habitable levels. No, Anika, hide it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No one look.
Okay. You guys were not supposed to see that. I hope nobody did.
Okay, I think one click. Okay, so guys, look at the underlined phrase. The radiation will have subsided. What tense is this? I wonder. And how is it formed? And then we're going to try, to talk a little bit about the meaning. So why we use this.
Okay, giving you a little time there. What tense? And how is the tense formed? Another example would be, by this time next year, the situation will have been completely different.
Yeah. We say it will have been finished. It will have been over. Will have finished.
Yeah. I like Anna's comment. By reading these articles, I'm feeling almost lucky. That's a positive way of thinking.
It's true. That's really nice.
Yeah, could have
Just
been
here,
more.
bringing you joy, guys. Bringing you joy.
Future
Okay,
perfect.
so maybe,
Yay.
yay, exactly. So the future perfect, and maybe we can just reveal it as well.
All right. And how do you form it? We have here a subject. So we have the radiation here for subject. We have will have and the past participle of the verb, which is subside in this case. Oops. And one thing to note is that no matter what the subject is, it could be third person singular, but still it would be will have. For example, she will have finished her exams by next year, by this time next year.
Yeah, excellent. And as well, when we use the future perfect, unless somebody else has said it or the date is implied, we always say by a certain point. Because I know the future perfect can be confusing for many people, but we use it when we're talking about something being finished in the future at a certain point. So in this example, by 2216, the radiation will have subsided. I can say by 5 p.m., this webinar will have finished. So the webinar has happened and then it's finished in a point. So it's like we go to a point and then we look back in time.
So great I had read it actually.
Yeah, I know. Damn it, Greta, don't tell us.
Okay, so because we're talking about prediction.
It's not always for prediction, okay? Because we can say if we know something. I can say by October, I will have lived in Milan for 1 year. because imagine that you go forward to October and then you look back. I don't know if that's more confusing. So I think if you click again, Anika, there are some examples that we can try and talk about.
I would say it's not just prediction. It can be something that you're even sure about. For example, by 5 o'clock, we will have finished this webinar. So it's not a prediction. We are sure it's going to happen, but it's just saying, I think it's about what you have completed by that time. You can be predicting it or you can be sure about it, but you're completing that action. So maybe you guys can think of other examples that is true for yourself. Let's set a time. For example, this time next year, what will you have done? Or maybe you could change the time frame. In 10 years, what will you have done? So for example, in 10 years, I will have moved to a new city, maybe. Oh, probably that's not true. What about you, Jadene? What is something you will have done in 10 years?
I don't know. I don't know. Too far.
It's like asking a job,
but we can say...
job interview question.
Actually, this is.
Oh, good, Kate. Yes, by 2 months I will have finished quarantine.
Almost. So, we can either say in 2 months I will have finished quarantine, or by this date. So by a date. So by June I will have finished quarantine.
Yeah, good point there. I also think that
in terms of the meaning, no, I was just going to say, in terms of the meaning, it's correct.
Yes. Yeah. Also, to remember when to use in or by, I think the difference is similar to for and since. So in is used with a period of time, like in 2 years, in 3 months, in 3 weeks. But by is, just like Jadene said, for a specific point of time in the future.
Yeah, so my comment box is a bit frozen, so I can't write it, but I don't know if you can.
Okay, I'm going to try and write it. So in is for used for a period of time. Oh, Greta has a comment here. Next year, this time I will have celebrated Easter.
Don't forget, we use the past participle. But good, so I will have celebrated Easter. Exactly.
Yeah, family. We'll have celebrated. And in with months, yes, because it's a block of time, it's a period. So it can be months, years, weeks. It's not a one point
in 2 days, in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Even in 2 seconds. I'll see you in 2 seconds. It's a block of time, no matter how small.
So we can, I like it that you guys are using your own examples. I would prefer you guys to use your own. But maybe Anika and I can quickly go through the examples on the right. So it says, when do you think the following things will have happened in Chernobyl? So the experts predict that by 2216, the radiation will have subsided. I think that by the year 3000, the government will have opened the exclusion zone. I don't know when they will open it, but by 3000, I think it will be open. So it will have been opened before.
Great. Okay, so the second point, I can take the second one and then we take turns. Second one is people to return to the area. So as we know from before, like it takes 200 years to for the place to become inhabitable. So I would say probably people will have returned to the area in or by, when did this happen? 1986. So okay, let's say by the year 2500.
And you could also say, don't forget, you could also say, I think people will have returned to the area in 200 years.
200 years.
And the same probably, I think the fields will have become usable in, or will have been, no, people will have used, no, it's hard. I'm using different tenses.
Will have
I'm
used.
sorry. I'm too fluent. I'm gonna start using continuous. I can't do it. It's too difficult.
Yeah, actually, there's so many ways of saying this, not just one way. So when you're thinking like quickly, a lot of things come out.
Of this exact way.
So we're just forcing ourselves to use the future perfect here.
It's very difficult. They're really nice. So by 2021, our habits will have changed a lot. I hope so. I hope so. So actually, we're almost at the end of the lesson. Maybe we should just do a summary. Anika, are you here? Anika? I hope so, because you have the slides. Okay. So I'm not sure if Anika or I have frozen. So just in case it's Anika who's frozen and not me, I'm just going to do a summary with you guys, but I think probably I'm frozen because my internet is not very good. So we had some discussions about Armageddon, and different kinds of vocabulary. We had quite a philosophical discussion. And then we looked at different vocabulary we can use for talking about the apocalypse. And okay, she's gone, but I'm still going, don't worry. So some different vocabulary we can use for talking about things like the apocalypse, and what we think will happen in the future if there is an apocalypse. Okay, thank you, Lisa. So we also looked at some different vocabulary about catastrophes and things that can happen, including wasteland, evacuate, ghost town, decay, survivor, infect, and overgrow. We then use this vocabulary in context. So in a story about Chernobyl, which is actually a true event, which is quite sad. And finally, we talked about the future perfect. So if anyone has any questions, now is the time to write it. But when we are talking in the future perfect, we're talking about an event that will be completed in a certain point. Okay, so by the time in the future we're talking about, this subject is completed. So Anna says, the summary is that we are very lucky. We are living only in a pandemic. It's true. It's true. So that's something positive we can take away. And Maria says, the fields will have returned usable in 3016. That's good. But we probably wouldn't say will have returned usable. We would say returned to being usable, because we always return to something. Okay, always. Okay, well done everybody, and yeah, thank you for the lesson. Thank you for being so interactive. It was lovely. Bye.